And that's the end. I can't believe it's finally over. I thought of this idea around last year and it's over. Thank you all for the amount of you that parts in this series got. Stay tuned for part 5 coming out in 2024. It will be about 2021 to 2023 and will either be called the Renaissance or still in the Dark Age.
How the fuck has it been 3 years already? Well, technically it hasn't yet. I know I promised the video for December 2023, but I have been super busy with a lot of personal things, which prevented me from working on it. So here it is now in January 2024. In case you've subbed after January 2021, back at the end of 2020, I had a series on my channel called The History of Angry Birds, where I discussed exactly what the title says. Part 1 was about the early age, 2009 to 2011. Part 2 was about the Golden Age, 2012 to 2014. Part 3 was the Dawn of the Dark Age, 2015 to 2017. And finally, Part 4 was the Dark Age, which was 2018 to 2020. 3 years have passed now, and I can finally make a Part 5 going over 2021, 2022, and 2023. Expect a Part 6 in December 2026. And now in 2021. So 2021 was a really good year for the franchise, at least compared to 2018 to 2020. January 14th is when Angry Birds Casual got renamed to Angry Birds Journey with a slight art style change. It was already on iOS in the US, Poland, Switzerland, and Sweden, but January 14th is when it came to Android in those countries, as well as both Android and iOS in Denmark and Canada. Not much notable stuff happened to the franchise in 2021 up until April 6th. This is when ads for 2 never-before-seen Angry Birds games started showing on Instagram and Facebook. Neither of them used real gameplay footage, but instead mock-up gameplay, and each ad would take you to a fake version of the App Store or Google Play. Once the person clicks install, they are greeted with a survey asking them why they wanted to install it and what they'd like to see in the game if it were to come out. This is known as a Geek Lab page. Keep that in mind, as this will come up a few times during this video. The first one was Angry Birds Double Crossed, which looked like a crappy game where you become an online influencer on a reality game show. Looked shit. It also used the Dreamblast designs. Only notable thing this introduced was Birdie Pie and Dr. Pig Respect. The second game looked a lot more promising. It even used movie designs, which is better than Dreamblast designs. It was called Angry Birds Launch It. It looked to be an online game where you and a team of birds go up against other bird teams to collect eggs and bank them in your nest. The team with the most eggs wins. It looked great. Now, June 2021 is when things get great, and was honestly one of the best months in the entire franchise's history if you ask me. Full of hope and promise. Will Revio mess it up? You probably already know the answer, but continue watching anyway. The first notable June activity was the announcement of fucking Bad Piggies 2 on June 5th. This was revealed through mock-up advertisements on TikTok, and obviously, if you click the ad, it'll take you to a Geek Lab page. This is crazy. There was 3 different ads, but they were all the kind of same thing. One with the classic designs, one with the Toons designs, and one with the movie designs. The second thing to happen in June was the Angry Birds Twitter account tweeted this on June 6th. Every fan was very confused on what the fuck this could possibly mean. A few minutes would pass by and boom, Red now runs the account. How cool and funny, the Angry Bird himself can now tweet hilarious stuff. I'm sure this will only last a few months at most and won't get boring or bad or annoying. Red would later tweet a bunch of question marks with this video attached on June 11th. Wonder what this could be hinting towards. It would later be revealed on June 15th that this was a fucking remake of the original game, with remastered graphics, for better or for worse, and adapting the story of the movies. Say what you want, but this was the best game announcement for the franchise in a long time. The catch was that it was exclusive to Apple Arcade. Still though, the game looked amazing, keyword being looked. Later on June 21st, it would be announced that the fucking classic games were coming back. They specified classics in plural, and even name dropped both the original and seasons, so that shows they were interested in bringing back multiple. And to top off June, a new beta test game was announced on June 24th. All you need to do was click the link and sign a form, then you would have the chance to join a super secret Rovio Discord server, and you would be given the game, in a very early test version, to play, and say what could be improved and changed to make it better. I was a part of the team who beta tested the game. Remember how earlier I mentioned that Launch It was a Geek Lab game Rovio announced? Well, this was the game, and it was just as how I described it to be earlier. It was pretty fun. Boy, June 2021 was so fucking amazing for this franchise. Full of hope, full of Rovio fixing mistakes. More happened to the franchise in this 1 month than the entirety of 2018 and 2020 combined. Will Rovio mess up any of the things mentioned? Continue watching to find out, though you probably already know. Oh, Slingshot Story Season 2 also came out on June 19th as well, but who cares about Slingshot Stories? I didn't want to ruin the stride of actual good things happening in June 2021. July 16th is when that Angry Birds remake on Apple Arcade came out, which was called Angry Birds Reloaded. I don't think I even mentioned that when I was talking about it earlier. As described, it had modern friends designs and it very loosely adapted the story of both the movies. The game started with 7 episodes in the main game, those being Hot Pursuit, When Birds Fly, Party Crashers, Bacon Beach, Bamboo Forest, Rex in the City, and Pigs in a Banquet. All 9 birds were there: Red, the Blues, Chuck, Bomb, Matilda, Hal, Terrence, Bubbles, Stella, with the classic power-ups you'd expect. Power Potion, King Sling, Sling Scope, Birdquake, Boombox, and Wingman. There was also an Eagle Island section you could unlock by earning a certain amount of stars. It contained 3 episodes, those being Frenemies, Enter the Volcano, and The Frozen Heart. These episodes, as well as containing some of the original birds, also had some exclusive characters only usable in the Eagle Island levels, those being Leonard, who was a reskin of Terrence, who could also shoot small snot projectiles from his nose. There was Silver, sadly spawning a Movie 2 design, whose power was the same as it is in Angry Birds 2, looping when the screen is tapped. There was Gary, who was just a reskin of Blues, and Courtney dressed as Harvey, who was just a reskin of Matilda. While not a perfect game and locked to Apple Arcade, it was the best game to come from this franchise since 2016. October is when they collabed with the clothing brand Billabino. They produced clothes with the classic designs on and even an exclusive plush called Billabird. November 18th, 2021 is when a secret area was added to Reloaded. It contained a new episode, that being
Off the Menu.
It was for Thanksgiving. I'm not American, so I don't give a shit. November 23rd is when the first dev diary came out for Angry Birds Classics re-release. A lot of stuff was revealed in here, such as it would be a remake in Unity rather than Fusion, which was the engine the original game was made on. This is also where it revealed that the game would be paid. It also mentioned the game would have cloud saving and feature a new way to zoom out without firing a bird in accident. It also said to tweet questions about the remake using hashtag #BringBack2012. December 13th is when Pie Hard, a Christmas-themed episode, came to Reloaded in the bonus area. December 16th is when Angry Birds Bird Island released. It was a shitty Bird Island lobby on the shitty game Roblox. You could make a house on Bird Island and Bird OC. That's about it, really. It was quite bad. December 18th is when the short film Bomb's Christmas came out. You can assume what this was about going by the title. December 22nd is when the second Dev Diary came out. This revealed many other aspects, such as the game being a new app and not an update. This is also where it was confirmed to be a remake of the mid-2012 version, so only including all the episodes from Poached Jakes to Mine Dine, as well as Birthday 2, Birthday 3, and Surf and Turf. This is also where they announced that they were looking into re-releasing classic-style plushies. And that was 2021. Everything up until June was just the standard shit this franchise had been putting out since 2017. But oh god, when June hit, we were so fucking back. But then the cracks began to show towards the end of the year, with things like the classic re-release only containing 2012 stuff and nothing else. Still, hopes for the future were high, so now let's see how 2022 was. January 19th, 2022 is when the episode Daft Piggies came to Reloaded in the bonus area. It was based on the party scene from the first movie, which featured a reference to Daft Punk. January 20th is when Angry Birds Journey finally, after 2 years, launched worldwide. It was basically the same game as it was the year prior, and I don't think there was any major changes, and if there was, who cares? I'm sure both Angry Birds Journey fans in the world probably won't get mad at me for not saying. January 26th is when the third Dev Diary came out. All this featured was 2 screenshots of the remake and comparing them to the OG game. Angry Birds Summer Madness Part 1 came out on January 28, 2022. It was a shit show about Red, Chuck, Bomb, and Stella as preteens in the Camp Splinterwood, with Mighty Eagle, Matilda, Terrence, characters that looked like the Blues but aren't, called the Cheeps, and some new characters such as Niederflyer and Penley. March 1st is when Angry Birds Gaming was officially revealed. It was a new YouTube channel dedicated to the Angry Birds games, and the original channel was left to only post episodes from the shows and generic crappy kids content. The fourth and final Dev Diary came out on March 2nd. It featured the level made by Ethan, who was a young boy in 2010. He wrote to Rovio asking for his level to be put in the game, and it was in Danger Above Part 3. So this Dev Diary was dedicated to showing off his level is returning in the remake. It also announced Mighty Eagle was going to be in the game too, and around about this time, Mighty Eagle also came to Reloaded as well, which was cool. March 14th is when Rovio Gaming launched. It is an official Discord server made by Rovio where you can talk to community managers, that's not a particularly good thing, and get updates on some of their live service games. This is also where community managers started to get active in the online community. I'll let you decide if that was a good or bad thing. Basically, their job was to sit on Twitter and Discord all day, doing damage control for a shitty company and arguing with literal minors about a mobile game from 2009. Yikes. March 31st, 2022 is when Rovio Classics Angry Birds released. Oh boy, where do I begin with this? What was promised as a faithful remake had many things wrong with it. Mainly a lot of random visual bugs that didn't make sense, and the physics being terrible. Rovio did release a few updates to the game to try and fix it, but it was too little too late. The game was done, and most fans hated it. May 6th is when Birdnapped came to Reloaded in the Eagle Island section. This is the first episode in Reloaded to start using seasoned levels as opposed to just classic. May 13th is when the Angry Birds Minecraft DLC came out. Aside from nice looking designs for the movie cast and a nice recreation of Bird Island, there was nothing good in this DLC. The gameplay is fucking ass. It has you beat up pigs in long boring levels, and the slingshot segments are so bad. And to top it all off, you can only use the movie designs in this DLC only. The only Angry Bird skins you can wear in normal Minecraft are the Summer Madness versions. Ugh. May 28th is when Season 2 of Makerspace came out. It had nice animation, but the stories were as shit as Season 1's. May 31st is when the Pick Your Flock update came to Angry Birds 2. Originally, your flock could only consist of Red, the Blues, Chuck, Matilda, Silver, Bomb, Terrence, and one extra bird, either Stella, Hal, Bubbles, or Leonard. However, this update made it so you could use any 8 birds you want. June 1st is when Finding Zeta came to Reloaded in the Eagle Island section. June 22nd is when Midsummer Mayhem came to Reloaded in the secret area. June 24th is when the second part of Summer Madness came out. Nothing to say about that. June 29th is when Angry Birds came to Electric Game Box, an interactive location in some areas in the world. Do you care? Good, because I don't either, so let's move on. July 27th is when Piglantis came to Reloaded in the Piggy Island section. It's about time they admit to this being a season's reskin, honestly. As expected by the name, it just adds the season's Piglantis levels and some water to Reloaded. August 11th is when Angry Birds Brawl was announced through ads on TikTok. Once again, clicking the ads would take you to a Geek Lab. The Angryverse was something established earlier in the year. It was basically Rovio's way of confirming what is canon to what. So the movies are not canon to the classic games, and Movie Red is a completely different character to Classic Red, even if the Angry Birds wiki would want you to believe otherwise. Angry Birds Brawl showed different universe versions of Red, but not any pre-existing ones like Classic or Movie, but one that looks like fucking LS Mark, among others. No gameplay was shown, just ugly character models. Let's move on. August 25th is when the third and final part of Summer Madness came out. Both Summer Madness fans were saddened by this being the final batch of episodes. August 31st when Moon Festival came to Reloaded in the secret area. September, they collabed with Venom to make boxing stuff and Capsule to make skateboards. Despite the nostalgia-baited classic designs being used, these were the first products to sell zero loads. The skateboards did give us this cringe image on the Red Twitter account. This is a good place to talk about that. The account became so bad in 2022. The guy who voiced Twitter Red originally, who I think also ran the account, but I don't actually know if that's true, got fired at the beginning of 2022, and throughout the year, the account became awful. Just red thirsting over random celebrities and how do you do fellow kids posts. At least it's better than how it would turn in 2023, but it's still shit. October 3rd is when Halloween came to Reloaded in the secret area. This update also added the carnival section to the game. You could play minigames and get tickets, which would be used to buy costumes for the birds. Halloween 2 came out on October 27th. November 3rd is when Angry Birds Racing, a test game, soft-launched in the US and Canada. It was a game where you have a bird on a board and you can flip and race. November 20th is when Melody was added to Angry Birds 2 as an extra bird. Her power was she'd open her mouth and suck up anything that's in her way, then spit it out wherever you tap the screen. December 1st is when Pie Hard 2 came to Reloaded in the secret area. December 8th is when the Mighty Mojo Classic plushies came out. They were in partnership with Commonwealth, the original company who made the 2010-2014 line of plushies. Red, the Blues, Chuck, Bomb, Stella, Minion Pig, Four-Man Pig, and Mighty Eagle were all in the set. I bought 0 of them as I'm not an American, so shipping was very expensive. December 10th is when Angry Birds Bubble Trouble Season 2 came out. Just like Makerspace 2, the animation was better than its Season 1 counterpart. But the stories were still shit, and they still used Dream Blast design, so the show was still bad. Rovio also collabed with Power Locust to make headphones this month, but no one actually cares. And that's it for 2022. Shit year, to be honest. Now it's time for 2023. You may as well click off now, as there's going to be nothing but negativity. Holy shit, that was just meant to be a joke, but here we are already starting it with negativity. February 21st, 2023 is when Rovio announced Rovio Classics Angry Birds would be removed from the Google Play Store and be renamed to Red's First Flight on the App Store. This would later take effect on February 23rd. Their excuse for this was the game would be the first thing to show up when searching for Angry Birds on these services, and it would be a paid game, so it would turn away potential downloads for their free games as no one pays for mobile games anymore. I don't like Rovio Classics Angry Birds and think it's shit, but this was handled stupidly. Why didn't they try having the game free with ads and power-ups you could buy? But obviously make it so those who paid for the game got no ads. That'd be unfair. Abracabacon came to Reloaded in the Carnival section on February 6th. This is before the Rovio class Angry Birds thing, but I thought I'd say that first for dramatic effect. February 26th is when Angry Birds Kingdom would soft launch in the Philippines and the US. It was a top-down game where you play as the birds and destroy pig towers. March 6th is when Swine and Dinosaur came to Reloaded in the secret area section. April 17th is when Sega announced they wanted to buy Rovio, with the deal being completed on August 18th. Now, before you say Rovio is saved, yay! Sega announced they were collaborating with Rovio to include their Beacon service in their new Sonic mobile games. Here is a brief explanation of what Beacon is and why it's bad. It's a tool made by Rovio which gives analytics from other mobile games and tells Rovio what they should add to make their games more profitable, like recommending they add shitty battle passes and extra microtransactions and crap like that. Basically, it's out to get the player to spend as much money as possible, and very anti-consumer, usually sacrificing creativity and fun for money. So yeah, Sega isn't saving Rovio, but rather embracing their shitty ways. May 22nd is when Rovio killed Journey, a game that I already didn't like very much. They got rid of the unique episode themes for a fucking battle pass, so the theme of the game changed every month, rather than the nice-looking episode backgrounds. This also took out the game's story too. They ditched all the creativity the game had for a battle pass and money. This all happened because of Beacon, by the way, so if this has anything to go by, do not look forward to any Sonic games made by Rovio. Before the Journey Battle Pass thing though, Bad Piggies 2 soft-launched in a select few countries on May 4th. It used the movie designs. It wasn't terrible, but still needed improvement. May 15th is when Angry Birds Reloaded got a space update. This changed the menu to make it more streamlined and separated all the different sections off like they are episodes. This of course added the space section and with it Pig Bang. It was all exactly like the Angry Birds Space original, with the only difference being it's in the Reloaded style with its physics, and Leonard is also in place of King Pig. June is when the character of Joe was introduced to the Angry Birds franchise. They are the first non-binary bird in the franchise, and have not made any meaningful appearances in any games yet. Basically, they were made and only used in June 2023. They also lied in the Google Play description of Angry Birds 2, advertising Joe as a playable character and even adding them to the loading screen, but they were only a golden duck skin. So the character is basically made just for brownie points during Pride Month and nothing more. They have appeared 2 more times outside of Pride Month though. The first time was in a comic released on the same day Rovio responded to the Angry Birds fan doc, which had many criticisms on how Joe was handled and how fans believe they were only made for Pride Month and nothing else. So I think it's quite obvious that the reason that comic was made was because of the doc and nothing more. And if the doc wasn't made, that comic probably wouldn't have been made and Joe probably would have been forgotten, even though they're probably still going to get forgotten. The second time was in a group photo released on the 14th anniversary of the franchise. It was nice they were included, but let's be real, Ruby was included, so of course the character made this year was going to be there. iSweep by Angry Birds opened on July 8th. It was an Angry Birds shop that sold merchandise located in the Tangram Complex in New York. It looks cool, but I'll probably never get to go as I'm not an American. Cold Cuts came to Reloaded on July 18th, which also added Icebird to Reloaded. September 5th is when Fry Me to the Moon came to Reloaded. September 28th is when Utopia came to Reloaded. October 15th is when Slingshot Story Season 3 came out. Aside from the introduction of Matilda, Terrence, Corporal Pig, there is nothing to say. October 17th is when Red Planet came to Reloaded, and Snowball Showdown came to Reloaded in the secret area on December 12th. What a boring year. We're not done yet though, as there's still 2 more things we need to talk about. That being Bad Piggies 2 was removed on October 31st and the servers were shut down so you can't play it anymore, and they've went back to the drawing board, and when they say that they usually mean they're killing the game. And the second thing is, in November, Angry Birds 2 added a battle pass like Journey's, and it just killed the game even more so than Journey's did. This is because Angry Birds 2 originally had daily challenges that you could complete and get like a lot of gems, and if you were a dedicated player who would play the game every day and do the challenges, you could rack up quite a lot of gems really by doing that. But now they've made it virtually impossible for any free-to-play players to get gems, so yeah, fuck Rovio. But that's not it yet. Let's do our yearly checkup on Twitter Red. 2021, he was new and fresh. 2022, he was very annoying. Howzine 2023, even worse. Twitter Red, or Mascot Red as I shall be referring to him, starred in videos on the official TikTok that are just terrible and should not represent the brand at all. One of these being a smash or pass, where he says which video game character he would smash and who would pass. Yikes. The Twitter also got some backlash too. They kinda stopped posting tweets about Angry Birds and instead just random shit that doesn't matter and no one cares about. They changed the PFP from Movie Mascot Red to Classic Mascot Red, hoping this would make fans like them. It didn't work. Rovio have basically been trying to make Red, and only Red, the only character in the whole franchise to matter, and want to make him a mascot to mobile gaming, which he already is. This led to a hilarious tweet where the Angry Birds account self-consciously asked, "Who do you think of when we say mobile gaming?" with most of the responses not even being read. The name change of Rovio class Angry Birds to Red's Fast Flight also pushes this agenda more. They also had a booth at a gaming expo that was Toons themed and called Red's Ride, which had a cardboard cutout of mascot movie Red there. Also, a game called Angry Birds Red was announced, which will star Twitter Reds, the main character. Oh my god, you can't even make that up. It's also been a shit year for Rovio stuff in general, with them doubling down on NFTs and AIR as well. And them even making a fucking metaverse game, like what the fuck, it's so shit. Honestly, Angry Birds will probably be dead by the time of part 6 of the series is supposed to come out. By dead, I don't mean literally gone. It will still be around and probably still post shitty shit on their Twitters, shitty videos on their TikTok, and make crappy shit games that no one will play. Just even less recognizable than it already is now. Subscribe and like the video. Goodbye.